Alright, so you find yourself smack in the middle of a heated argument, feeling like a ship lost at sea. You're struggling to get your point across, and damn, it seems like you're losing ground. Familiar scenario. That bad. But here's the thing, mate. Arguments aren't all about winning or losing. But hell, nobody wants to feel like they've been stepped on. And that's where I come in. Pay attention, friend, because I'm about to give you the tools. Stuff that's going to make you the boss of arguments. Chapter 1. Start your encounter by telling them something positive, and then continue with your point of view. Alright, kiddo, let's get this ball rolling. The first tip is it's a hell of a simple one, but, trust me, it's a secret weapon here. We're talking flattery. Now, I know what you're thinking. What? Are we trying to date him, or are we trying to win an argument? But hold up there, champ. Hear me out. Flattery, my friend, is a powerhouse. It's one hell of a beast. Start showing your argument by feeding the ego of your opposition just a tiny bit. And no, you won't be sucking up, don't worry, I'm just getting started. The point is to throw them off their guard, make you look humble. Well, it's also good to just be humble, not disingenuously, but you get what I'm saying. It makes them look good when you compliment them, and who doesn't love to look good, right? Now, here's the catch. This ain't false praise. Genuine recognition only, okay? Got it? You don't want to lie about stuff. You gotta tell them they got something right, something that you can appreciate. Maybe they made a point that was kinda, sorta correct. Be like, hey, that's a good point, but have you considered this? See, now you're not attacking, you're just adding to their perspective. It's pretty damn clever, ain't it? But hey, you gotta be careful here, alright? You don't want to come across as sarcastic or patronizing. The goal is to disarm them, not piss them off even more. So delivery really matters. Practice that tone, that body language. Nail it down, buddy. Also, here's another piece of advice that you gotta consider. Positive reinforcement is not just for their benefit. It's for you, too. Yeah, you heard me right. You see, when you start with a compliment, you're forcing your brain to adopt a more positive attitude towards the person. And that is a game changer. No longer are they your enemy, but just another dude or dudette with a different perspective. I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down, as it's not gonna get any simpler than that. Alright, so here's the deal. The next time you're in an argument, swallow your pride. Start with a compliment, a genuine one, remember? And then smoothly transition into your point of view. Show them that you're not just listening, that you're understanding their side too, and then wham! Hit them with your perspective. And before you know it, you've steered the ship in your favor. Listen, by watching these videos, I know you aren't one of those losers who think they already know everything. Even if you've only watched one video on this channel, you still clicked on it, and that shows that you have a fire inside of you to start improving. You already showed the willpower. The only thing you need is a path. I've put down 10 modules which you can see as ladders. Every module or ladder will exactly explain to you step by step how to get to the top. From achieving peak masculinity, advanced testosterone optimization, getting women, mastering the game of exchanging value, to actual money-making methods, and even more. I have literally laid the groundwork for you to become jacked, attractive, rich, and of high social status. You don't lack motivation. You just lack the knowledge and trust in the path that you're taking. You can continue messing around in the never-ending cycle of taking paths that lead to nothing, or click the link in the description down below. Chapter 2. Ask them basic questions to make it look like you're using logic. Alright, enough with the touchy-feely stuff. It's time to pull out the big guns. And by that, I mean logic. Yeah, logic. That thing we usually throw out the window when we're red-faced and screaming in an argument. But here's the thing, dude. Logic is your best friggin' friend in an argument. Your faithful, undying sidekick. Now, you might be thinking that you're always logical during arguments. You're totally unbiased, natural, blah, 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 blah. But come on, are you really? Or are you just repeating your point louder and louder and in a slightly different way, hoping that they'll crack under the pressure? If that's your strategy, then yeah, it's time for a change. So here's what you do instead. You ask questions, but not just any questions, no sir. You ask the most basic, fundamental, couldn't be more obvious if they were a neon sign questions. Something like, are you telling me that you believe the earth is flat? Is that what you're telling me? Okay, maybe not an argument you're gonna actually find yourself in, but you probably get the point. Now, of course, they're gonna say yes because they're stubborn and they got their pride, but that's alright, because here's what you've done. You've planted a seed of doubt. That tiny little voice in the back of their mind going, maybe this isn't as logical as I thought. But hey, don't stop there. Keep pushing, keep questioning. Make them spell it out, the whole ridiculous belief that they're trying to sell. Get them to see how ridiculous it sounds when they actually have to explain it in detail. You're not attacking, you're just asking. It's innocent curiosity, that's all. And what if they start questioning your logic? Well, good, let them, because you've got your arguments lined up all neat and logically. You're not just shooting blindly, you've got a plan. Logic's on your side. Chapter 3. Bring up examples that debunk their argument. Alright, you're killing it. You buttered them up with a compliment, and now you got them questioning their logic. But hey, we're not stopping there. No, we're taking it up another level. It's time to throw some facts their way. Facts that are going to shatter their argument into a million little pieces. Think about it. What's the one thing that people can't argue with? Cold, hard facts. They can twist words, they can twist meanings, but they cannot bend the truth. Not when it's staring at them in the face. So here's what you can do. You bring up examples, real, solid examples that contradict their argument. Let's say that they're arguing that all teenagers are irresponsible. Really, you ask? All teenagers? What about Malala Yousafzai, who stood up for girls' education at just 15? Or what about Greta Thunberg, who started a global movement for climate change at 16? Are they irresponsible too? This, of course, means that you need to know these teenagers, and you need to know what you've accomplished. But also, if this is the argument that you find yourself in, please understand context, because they probably are using hyperbole. So don't ask this line of questioning if you know that they're doing hyperbole. But hey, if you're in an argument, obviously, you're going to know the topic of the argument, so no worries. Whatever you're going to argue about, of course, you're going to know the facts. Otherwise, please don't try and argue it. Now, back to it. You threw facts in their face. What are they going to say to that? They're going to stumble, they're going to stutter, they're going to realize that their argument, not as airtight as they thought it was. Now, again, you're not doing this to be a jerk. You're doing this for the sake of truth. You are not doing this to humiliate them, because sometimes the truth is the only thing that can change someone's mind. But hey, this isn't just about winning arguments. This is about standing up for what's right. This is about making sure that the truth gets heard. And if that means that you gotta be the one to say it, then say it. Chapter 4. Make them reflect on what they're saying by asking them, do you believe that X is true? Try not to be condescending in any way, like, do you really believe that X is true? Alright, so we're at endgame now. You've delivered your compliments, you've questioned their logic, and you've decimated their argument with concrete examples. They're teetering on the edge, but it's time for this boxer to deliver the final blow. The checkmate of the argument. That's where you push the envelope a little bit. It's time to turn the mirror around and point it right back at them. Ask them that million-dollar question. Do you believe what you're saying is true? And don't be subtle about it. Be direct. Be confrontational. Make them pee their pants a little bit. After all, you've already done the work, so now you just gotta make them see it. And also, please don't just say, do you really think that what you're saying is true, if you haven't argued the point. Remember, an argument is always about what's being discussed. Try not to let it get meddled down by personal politics. So anyways, you see, when they have to answer that question, they're gonna have to think about what they've been saying. They have to confront their own beliefs, and maybe, just maybe, they'll realize that they've been basing their argument off faulty logic or misconceptions. What? All rescue dogs are aggressive? You ask. Is that what you really think? You've met my dog, right? The one that I rescued, trained, and turned. The one that sleeps all day and licks anyone who comes to the door. Aggressive? Really? You see, people often get caught up in their own minds. They forget that other people see the world from different perspectives. We are all each centers of our own little universe. And people forget that their words have meaning outside of what they interpret it as. They forget that their arguments need to be based on reality, not stereotypes, not assumptions, not information that they've gathered. The stuff that they say needs to be based in reality. Again, this question, this beautiful, powerful question, forces them to face that reality, make them question their beliefs, make them see the cracks in their argument. And when they do, they won't have a leg to stand on. They'll have no choice but to admit you're right. Or if you're like my girlfriend's sister, they'll just get really mad and leave the room. See, arguments aren't meant for yelling louder or using fancy-ass words. They're for keeping a cool head, using logic, employing empathy, and most importantly, making the other person rethink their standpoint without them even realizing what's happening. Just argue your point, and if you're right, you'll prevail. But also, in this context, you're trying so desperately to convince them that you're right, but you always must consider that you too could be wrong. You need to be open. You could be on the other end of this, of what I'm talking about. So, yes, you're gonna win these arguments. It's like Inception, but instead of planting an idea, you're reshaping one. And guess what? That works. You can do it.